Earlier today, we spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is under increasing fire for the civilian deaths we've seen in Gaza, while insisting he must defend his country from relentless rocket attacks.
You know, at a certain point, you say, what choice have you got? What would you do? What would you do if American cities, where you're sitting now, Brian, would be rocketed, would absorb hundreds of rockets? You know what would you'd say? You'd say to your leader, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and you'd say a country's got to do what a country's got to do. We have to defend ourselves. We try to do it with the minimum amount of force, or with targeting military targets as best as we can, but we'll act to defend ourselves. No country can live like this.
Let's talk about these civilian deaths. Last night, our network aired scenes of the largest hospital in Gaza having to turn away dead bodies at the hospital morgue. There was no more room. You've seen the widely chronicled story of the boys on the beach in Gaza who were killed. How does it strike you as a father, as a human being?
It's very saddening. To see any of these civilian deaths is terribly saddening, and we regret every one of them, and we don't seek to have even one civilian death. We're targeting Hamas terrorists. I can tell you that we opened up a hospital, a field hospital, a humanitarian field hospital on the edge of Gaza, and Hamas doesn't let the people come there. They're hiding rockets in hospitals, they're hiding arms in hospitals, they're shooting from hospitals. So they just don't care. I mean, they break every norm in the book, every rule in the book, committing triple war crimes, targeting civilians, hiding behind civilians, piling civilians in places where they'll be put in harm's way. I think to the extent there is any blame, it should be laid squarely to Hamas's door, because these are not symmetrical conditions.
It is the situation, Mr. Prime Minister, that civilians are dying in droves, that we've seen pictures of children wandering the streets of Gaza, no longer with homes to return to. Our president just this morning called again for a ceasefire. Are you willing to talk to Hamas in any form, and what are you willing to agree to when Secretary Kerry gets to work there?
Well, we've agreed 3 times, as I said, to successive ceasefires, and I think the most important initiative, and really the only initiative, is the Egyptian initiative, supported by the Arab League, supported by the Palestinian Authority, supported by Israel, supported by the UN. If Hamas wants to end this, they could have supported it. I think John Kerry will come here, and I think he should stand behind this initiative. If people want to end it, it could end.